I'm the host. You invite me to your podcast. You get to ask the question. I'm the host. I'm going to ask you the question. You haven't let me answer the question.
I didn't see
your reaction is already an answer.
I know. I am infuriated by people who drag other people's name who are powerless. You're not powerless.
Hillary Clinton is powerless?
No, these people.
Hillary Clinton is powerless.
These people.
That's the problem.
These people.
Hillary's the problem.
You read a list of people because you have the power to do it. People who do that are bullies, and I don't appreciate bullies.
I have the power to do what?
You do. To read a list of some stranger's name.
I have the power to use the DOJ and other things to control and hide things.
That's not DOJ.
Yeah.
DOJ didn't make this list.
Let me finish up
some
my question.
Jackass made a list in his basement.
You have the right to
You're reading
answer.
their names as if they're incriminating in some way.
Right to
That's
answer.
bullying, and I don't appreciate. And I stand up against bullies.
Please do so. Yeah.
Patrick Bet David brought on a controversial guest, Anthony Weiner, and completely dismantled his arguments. In this intense exchange, Patrick calls out Weiner for making outrageous and unhinged statements, and it quickly becomes clear that Anthony Weiner truly believes the absurd points he's trying to make. Given Weiner's past, his credibility is shaky, but Patrick doesn't hold back in exposing the flaws in his arguments and highlighting the lies. This debate is a must-watch as Patrick Bet David skillfully breaks down each point with facts and logic, leaving Weiner's stance in shambles. Get ready to witness a masterclass in debate. Let's dive into the clip where Patrick Bet David takes Anthony Weiner to task on the PBD podcast.
You were very eloquent on the way you defended Hillary Clinton, on who she was when it comes down to politics. Are you still close to that family?
I'm not.
Okay. So who do you think between the two was a better politician? You think Bill's the better politician? Do you think Hillary's the better politician?
I don't think Hillary was a particularly good politician.
Okay, so she's a better strategist, you would say. She's more strategic, power.
She is a classic blooming where she's potted kind of public official.
Yeah.
Everything that she has been given to do. I watched her, as a rookie elected official come into New York and become an amazing senator. I watched her at Secretary of State be like she blooms where she's potted. She knows government well. She's smart as a very, very smart person.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that it's hard. I think it was hard for her to get her sea legs, being the first woman candidate of a major party. I think it was hard for her to get her sea legs in the framing of Bill Clinton's wife. I think it was a lot of things, or a lot of challenge she faced that you and I would not face on the campaign.
Do you think she's a good person?
I do.
Okay, so when we announced the fact that we're interviewing you, we kind of crowdsource with the audience. What questions do you want to ask? And then our research team will go and say, hey, is there any credibility to this or not? And then we don't waste our time. So hey. We're having Anthony Weiner on. Great. So you have to ask him about Frazzle Drip. Go look it up. Oh, this video is a deep fake. No, any credibility to it on what happened with Hillary Clinton, Huma, and all this stuff? Nope, we're not going to ask him about that because I don't yet see a real source. A lot of it was stuff that, conspiracy, all this stuff that's being said. We're not going there. Yeah, you need to ask him about Pizzagate, because that's exactly what's going on with kids. Yeah, no, we're not going there. That's not something we're going to be asking him about. Yeah, you need to ask him about this, and you need to ask him about this. I said, okay. All of these things that they said we have to ask you about. To be fair, it's Bill Clinton officiated your wedding with Huma, your wife, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
So you've been very close, and your wife, is it still wife or is it ex-wife? I think it's separated since 2017, right?
We're separated. We co-parent Jordan, but we're separated.
Okay. And, she was a right-hand person to Hillary Clinton in 2016 while the scandal was taking place.
For years before that, she was with Hillary for, she's 20 years.
And the whole thing with the life insurance, the email, 650,000, the one folder with the word life insurance and the files that are in there. So the next thing that people said, you got to ask him is the following. So, Rob, if you can pull up this story, I'm not going to buy into this one. Well, 9 out of 12 cops, NYPD, who saw the email and saw what was in that laptop, committed suicide. And it was, 7 of them since June, and it was the most ever that this took place. And these are the men that committed suicide. So then we went and looked it up, and we're like, no, they did commit suicide, but it wasn't linked directly to seeing the laptop or the intel there. No problem. So again, no credibility there. So there's no reason to ask you the question about the 9 out of 12 cops that saw it in NYPD.
You shouldn't even be listing them and giving it oxygen.
No, my job is to listen because I like to read.
No, list them. You shouldn't be listing these things.
Well,
these things
it is what it is.
Destructive. People have actually had violence done over these
theories. These are conspiracy theories that
all
some
that have
people
books about them, though.
Right,
that I wouldn't
but the one
recommend
thing that we did look up that wasn't a conspiracy theory was the following. And this is the one that's kind of weird. And first thing I ask myself is, how the hell is our guy here, Anthony Weiner, still alive? What do you mean by that? Well, when you go through the list of people that have been close to Hillary Clinton and the Clintons and the death pool, this is not a conspiracy. You got the names of James McDougal, okay, Clinton's convicted Whitewater partner, died of an apparent heart attack. You know, Mary Mahoney, a former White House intern, was murdered July 1997 at a Starbucks coffee shop in Georgetown.
Ron Brown, he died in a plane crash.
Vince Foster
What is
was
this?
Vince Foster was the next one. He, by the way, the James Dougal was a key witness in a Ken Starr
Ron
investigation.
Brown was in a plane crash. Why is he on the list?
Ron Brown is another one, but there was a close person to this. Victor Razor, you got Paul Tooley, Ed Woolley.
Wait a minute, you're reading a list of people that Bill and Hillary Clinton knew. They're 80, they're 70-something years old.
I'm asking you this question. I'm asking you this question and an answer at the end. So you got Jerry Parks, Jane Bunch, James Wilson, Kathy Ferguson, Bill Shelton, Candy Bow, Florence Martin, Susan Coleman, Paula Grober, Danny Casolero, Paula Wilker, John Parnell Walker, Barbara Weiss. We should verify this yourself because you're running a radio show. You should look it up.
Charles
Meisner, Dr. Stanley Hurd, Barry Beal, Barry Seal, Johnny Lawhorn,
Can you read me the URL you're reading?
Higgins,
Can you read me the URL you're reading?
We'll send you the most credible source you can look it up.
Know
Herschel
what you're,
Friday.
what
We
you're
will.
reading
We'll put the link below. We'll put the link below.
Just tell me so I know what I'm
Herschel
responding
Friday,
to.
Kevin Ivey, Dan Henry, Keith Coney. And these were part of the Ivy Henry case. Keith McCaskill.
What's the Ivy Henry case?
You can look it up. Ivy Henry case. So Gregory Collins, Jeff Rhodes, James Milland, Richard Winter, and then you got the close bodyguards, Major William Barkley, Captain Scott Reynolds, Brian Hanley, Tim Sable, General William Robertson,
you don't even know what you're reading a list of. How is this
Densperger, Robert Kelly, Colonel Gary Rhodes, Steve Wills, Robert Williams, Conway LeBlue, Todd McKeon. I'm done. It's 46 names. And
of what? Can you read me the list? Can you read me the URL so I know what you read a list of before I answer any questions about it?
When I finish this, stillinthestorm.com. You can look it up.
Stillinthestorm.com.
You can look it up.
This is your big moment, guys.
Yeah, so you can go. And by the way,
ads about chemtrails at the end of it.
He hasn't even asked the question.
By the
He's
way,
just reading the article.
He's reading a list of names.
So
he hasn't even asked the question. It's a list.
The fact that you're getting nervous is an answer.
It's not nervous. This stuff makes me sick when you repeat
exactly.
these
It makes us sick as well. It also makes us sick.
Doesn't.
Of course, because the establishment makes us sick.
You start the question by reading a list of well-founded
Your reaction is an answer.
Conspiracy. I know these things make me sick, and people have gotten killed.
Your reaction is an answer.
Someone went into a pizza parlor in Washington because they believe this shit, and you're making an echo chamber.
Your reaction is an answer. So let me go to it here now.
No.
Your
reaction
You're not going to
read
an
a
answer.
list. Yeah, my reaction is my reaction.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you tell me what that list, in your view?
You haven't allowed me to finish. If you allow me to finish the question,
because you're reading 46
then
random
you can
names
do
off the internet
whatever you want.
Of some fucking insane website.
I love your answer.
And these people who you don't even know who they are, you're reading them on a list of something, making some kind of as if it's somehow suspicious. You don't even know who these human beings are, who have families, who are like out there, and now
I'll spend the next 2 hours with you one by one, explaining who each of these individuals are if you want to do that.
How about you pick one? Pick one and tell me who he was and what his story was.
Tom.
No, not you. You're asking me the question. Pick one name and then tell me.
Pull up Vince Foster if you want.
No, Vince Foster, that suicide has been investigated 50 times. Pull up one of the obscure names you pulled. Why did you pull Ron Brown? Here, let me read Ron Brown. Ron Brown, a Commerce Secretary who a plane crashed while he was on a humanitarian mission, crashed into the side of a mountain. So what do you want to know about Ron Brown? What do you want to know about Ron Brown?
Can you let me ask the question?
No, listen, this is a conversation.
No.
We're having a conversation.
I'm sorry. I'm the host. You invite me to your podcast. You get to ask the question. I'm the host. I want to ask you the question. You haven't let me answer the question.
I didn't see
your reaction is already an answer.
I know. I am infuriated by people who drag other people's names who are powerless. You're not powerless.
Hillary Clinton is powerless?
No, these people.
Hillary Clinton is powerless.
These people.
That's the problem.
These people.
Hillary's the problem.
You read a list of people because you have the power to do it. People who do that are bullies, and I don't appreciate bullies.
I have the power to do what?
You do. To read a list of some stranger's name.
To use the DOJ and other things to control
That's
and hide
not
things?
DOJ.
Yeah.
DOJ didn't make this list.
Let me finish up
some
my question.
Some jackass made a list in his basement.
You have the right to
You're reading their
answer.
names as if they're incriminating in some way.
You have the right to
That's
answer.
bullying, and I don't appreciate. And I stand up against bullies.
Patrick Bet David is absolutely right. The moment he started listing names, Anthony Weiner became visibly defensive, which says a lot. While it's not the full answer, that reaction alone is very telling. If I were in Weiner's position and someone like Patrick started reading off a list, I wouldn't react the way he did. Weiner's immediate defensiveness shows he knows where the conversation is going and is already on edge. His reaction kicks in before Patrick even finishes his point, which makes it clear that Weiner is anticipating the criticism. As Patrick reveals the point behind the list, the tension is obvious. Weiner's response, especially when questioned about the Clintons and the names on that list, shows how quickly he tries to deflect. He hones in on specific examples, like the plane crash, and dismisses it without addressing the broader issue. It almost feels like he's being calculated, protecting himself by staying on the Clintons' good side. What's fascinating is that every time someone like Weiner goes on a podcast that doesn't cater to his narrative, he gets cornered like this. He seems surprised when faced with tough questions, which are exactly the ones the public wants him to address. Weiner's refusal to fully engage and his attempts to derail the discussion only add more fuel to the fire. His defensiveness speaks volumes.
Please do so.
He hasn't even asked the question yet,
He's
Anthony.
reading a list and he's refused. And now he says, let's move on.
No.
Because I set your answer
Nobody
already.
has said move
He
on.
hasn't
You're
even asked the
panicking.
question. I don't even know what the
name.
question
Yeah.
is.
Pick a name.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Reading
And you get
a
to
list
answer
of people who
or not
probably
answer.
And there are some of those people that had military titles in front of them, and you're dragging their
That's
name.
even
through,
the point.
You're dragging their name
That's
through the
even the
and
point.
You should be ashamed
because
of yourself.
their families would want to know.
Because you've got a podcast.
Some of their
you can
families
read
would want to know.
some conspiracy theory podcast, a conspiracy theory that 9 people
I
read.
got you.
You find some guy that comes in, and then
Congratulations,
you
buddy.
go from Ron Brown to some obscure officer
Yes.
that used to protect Bill Clinton, who passed away. May he rest in peace for his
May all
service.
of them rest in
and
peace.
you are dragging them into some
May
wacky
all of them
conspiracy
rest
theory.
in peace. May all of them rest in peace. So here's the question for you. Because millions of people are not convinced Hillary Clinton is a good
Again,
person.
with the other people. Millions of
including
people.
myself. If you want to do that, I'm not
put the questions
I'm not
in your
worried
own.
about.
Don't
ask
try
the
to make
question.
it about some bozo who put up a website. Put in your own words.
Here's a question for you, Guy. It's a very simple question for you. So, how is it when you think about other candidates? Okay, everybody has a stereotype. You have a reputation whether you like it or not. What's your reputation? Your reputation is you like to text underage girls and you like to talk to girls and you sex sending pictures of your dangling. That's your reputation. Whatever you do, you can't do anything about it. Adam has a reputation. Adam is a playboy in Miami.
better get back to that list of strangers you read a
Trust
list
me,
of.
I'm getting back to it. Tom's got a reputation. His reputation is a man who
And right now,
loves
your
his wife.
reputation is listing strangers who served in the military and dragging their name
I
through the
have a
dirt.
reputation to ask tough questions and piss some people like you off. That's my reputation.
Including dead people who I'm going to stand up for.
Oh, trust me, we are standing up for them more than you are standing up for them.
Let's see. You better get back to that list because we're going to clear some people's names today.
My question for you is, how is it that in the last 50 years, we don't have a single candidate? Everybody has their own. Hey, John F. K. was a playboy with Marilyn Monroe. Trump, Karen McDougal, Stormy Daniels. You know, George Bush linked to 9/11 and weapons of mass destruction. Bill Clinton linked to Arkansas women, all this others. Everybody has a reputation. How is it that the reputation that follows them is people close to them die? Why is that a story that many people believe in? Why is that?
Are the Clintons in their 70s yet? You don't think I can make a list of other people who are 70-something years old and say this person died, that person died, this person died? Hold on.
How come they haven't done that with Bush? He's in the same age.
I have no freaking idea why they haven't.
How come they haven't done that with Trump?
So are you saying, so you agree with what I'm saying?
How come they haven't done that with Reagan?
So
how come they haven't done that with Kerry?
What point are you making about these men and women who you listed?
How is it so many people close to them die? How is it so many people close to them
everybody dies?
How is
are you
so
suggesting? Okay.
I'm asking the question.
You're asking a bizarre question.
Exactly.
Did people die? Did people die? No. What pisses me off, and I'm going to say this again because you apparently are not listening to me. You read a list of people off an obscure website of conspiracy theory, taking a Venn diagram of everyone that ever worked in the orbit of someone who served in public life for 50 years, and you listed them, including people in the military, including strangers you could not pull out of, and you are implying that there's something nefarious. Let me finish my thought. Let me finish my thought.
Please do so, because I got another source coming in here for you.
You're implying both with the question and with the website. The website says it explicitly. You're implying it. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
You're implying that something. You are implying
until he's done. Go for it.
You are implying that something nefarious is afoot both with the question and with the list. Hillary Clinton, she's a big girl. I'm a big boy. You're a big boy. The people that you just listed.
They're all.
Listen to me. No, these are obscure people that you could
You're
not pull
a
out of.
great politician, buddy.
Wait a minute, hold on. Let me,
Fantastic.
you know what? You are the classic bully. You list someone's name,
You
and
the
are you
classic-
going to go back
if
and
there's
clarify
anybody
it?
that's the
Are
bully,
you
it's
going to go
you.
clarify?
You know what the
Are you going to
qualities of your
clarify this
personality
list?
is. You
I
wanna
don't want
really
you
know
can
that.
ad hominem attack on me.
Yeah.
He's going to somehow
Classic
clear that
bully.
person's name.
There isn't anybody at this table that's a bigger bully than
I
you.
tell you. Oh yeah, you just listed some stranger with
Very
PFC
good,
with
deceptive
PFC.
way of pinning. Good
Look
for
at
you, guy.
You're reading some.
Good for you.
You're reading a conspiracy website.
Good
and saying,
for you.
Some people say.
Yeah.
It's incredibly ironic for Anthony Weiner to label Patrick Bet-David as a bully, given Weiner's own controversial history. When Patrick confronted him with a list of suspicious incidents involving the Clintons, Weiner's immediate defensiveness said it all. Instead of addressing the unusual pattern, he quickly shifted gears, dismissing it as a conspiracy theory and accusing Bet-David of bullying. For most people, being presented with such a list would naturally spark curiosity and a desire to investigate. A more reasonable reaction would have been to acknowledge the strangeness of the situation rather than going straight into attack mode. Weiner's quick deflection suggests an unwillingness to engage with the deeper issue, or perhaps even a need to protect certain interests. Patrick Bet-David's point remains strong. Defensiveness, especially of this magnitude, often reveals more than it hides. Most people, when asked tough questions, would be open to examining the facts, but Weiner's refusal to even entertain the possibility of something bigger only raises more questions. This intense exchange highlighted Bet-David's skill in staying composed and pushing for answers, while Weiner's defensive stance made his position seem weaker. It's clear who held their ground in this debate. Patrick Bet-David led the conversation, asking tough but necessary questions. Let me know what you think about this exchange and who you believe handled it better in the comments below.